Hey guys, I thought I'd do an on my way to work little video here. Everything's going along at a pace. I am getting out and doing a little detecting, not finding anything, so I'm really not pounding you to death with those videos. But I have some new areas to go to, so that's on the horizon. But the van deal, which I've been talking about ad nauseum lately, that is also coming along. By the way, I apologize that the windshield is so dirty. We've had a lot of rain, and whenever you get a lot of rain, you don't wash your windshield off enough, it begins to really get dirty. In any case, I've said this before, in the next 2 or 3 weeks, everything will clarify on the van. All I've got to do is make financial decisions in effect. I am less than a year from getting my car paid off, so I might do that before I get the van, or in addition. It wouldn't be before, but it would have been addition to the getting the van. I'm trying my best not to get any long-term debt anymore. Not a spring chicken. Really don't want 3, 4, 5 more years of payments, so I'm really positioning myself to bite this off in one big chunk. Since I pretty much decided to get a large van, so in fact, just by virtue of its age, the economic choice is always going to be the Sprinter van, because there's some great ProMaster vans, there's some great big Ford vans that you can stand up in, but they're relatively new. So you're talking $20,000, $30,000. I'm not going to be doing that again. So, all that's going to come clear. I'll be giving you another video in the next couple of 3 weeks on this issue. That won't be my next video. I'll have videos in between, but that will be one of the big videos I've got, telling you what's going to be happening. And when people talk about designing these vans or putting these vans together, even if you are in a bricks and mortar apartment or home, it's not a bad idea to do this, especially if you like vacationing. But also, the economic condition in this country is great, but you never know from year to year whether you're going to be the victim of a cutback. I am a member of a large company, multinational, big time, but they're trying to cut staff. So far, I'm in one of the parts of the company that has not been cut, but any given day, any given year, it can happen. And it's always nice to have a fallback, sort of a tiny home in your garage or something. Now, you don't do that specifically for that reason, because you might use it for traveling, camping, etc. So, but worst comes to worst, you can't live in it. Now, I'm not saying you need to live on the street. You got relatives in the area, you can live on some of their land. You can actually rent areas where you can park your van, because your van is in effect a tiny home. Even if it's a small van, it's still a tiny home. If it's a larger van, then it's really a tiny home. But in any case, that's a choice you got to take. So basically, I'm just this is something I want to do because I want to be saving money. And I mean, this would be huge money I would be saving. Now, if you're on a van on the road, I don't know if the decision you make is purely a financial one. Usually it's a decision based on freedom. But if you are a locally based and still have a 9 to 5, 8 to 4 city job, then yeah, a van is a economic decision, because you're not going to be spending huge amounts of money on the road. Your maintenance is still going to be there, but you're not going to be pounding on your vehicle to the degree somebody who's going to be doing 300-400 plus miles a day at a minimum. So then it really becomes a tiny home. So That's a good argument to make when you begin to run into your relatives, etc. If you're going to be a what is it, a more stationary type vanner, you can just tell them that, okay, I'm spending $1,400 a month on rent, and and that's not including the $300-400 you might be paying for things like utilities. If you're in a homeowners association, homeowner fees, etc. So you can very easily go to $2,000 plus a month in bills. If you get on a van, other than the payments for the van, if you move from an apartment, it just drops like a rock. If you move from a home, other than the payments for the van and the gas you need for local commutes, etc., you are not going to be paying a third of that cost, maybe not a fourth of that cost. So when you think about this, if you've got kids, you might have to make other decisions, because but if even a larger vehicle, and people live with their kids, but if you got kids going to school, then you are pretty much got subject to the winds of fortune. So you prepare to do whatever you got to be stable and to be location specific, potentially for those children, though a lot of people raise children on the road, good children, etc. But if that's your choice, to understand. But if it's you and your wife, or you alone, whether male or female, the presence of a camper van of some sort, from Class B, Class C, to a converted van, that is a safety net. So if the winds of fortune turn against you, you can lower your fortune requirements. All right, that's about all I've got to say. So I thought I'd do a little philosophical thinking, because when you start on this thing, you think about these things a lot more than somebody's been doing it on a consistent basis. They probably thought about it before they got in there, and now they've just adapted themselves to the lifestyle. So just want to give you that quick run, and that's what I'm thinking about sometime when I'm on my way to work. And I will talk to you later. I've gotten more stuff to show you, and good Lord willing, within a month or two, the van will be in-house, and we will actually do a few van build videos, etc. And the metal detecting, the hobby, that continues no matter what, because it's a quick way for an old guy to get exercise every now and then. And I will see you on the next video, which will be more interesting than my drive to work.